Today's session will try to explore how organizations can make the most of their resources by allocating the right roles to the right people. We'll talk on the importance of role transformation in this dynamic workplace as what we are witnessing.
Now, what are the capabilities that will keep us relevant from the efficiency context point of view or cost context point of view? The necessary elements are that technology has to take over certain key aspects of the business for us to remain efficient and for us to remain competitive. The only way that we could think about really making our factories smart factories is to get to that journey. And the journey that we were thinking about is to include the all sets of employees, whether at the ground level where our workmen are working at the shop floor, and going upward in the pyramid to see whether your mid to senior management is equally excited about this journey and learning on the digital learnings aspect, because it is what we felt important was to really work at the mindset level so that people are ready to adapt to certain changes that we expect.
Bringing role-based learning paths and transitioning newly opened job roles within the organization can really help reduce the skill gap. Role transformation also has a very strong positive impact on employee retention. If we've seen anything in the last 2 years, we know how much of these employee attrition retention has taken the time of the leaders and the market at large.
It is important for us to ensure that our employees remain relevant for future. So it was the investment that we wanted to make on them. When the kind of learning happens on the job, the relative ability to contribute in terms of respective units in which they work, that also starts to take shape very quickly. If an employee knows that within my work sphere, there are certain areas that can go through the automation process, and fortunately, those are the kind of projects with upGrad that we gave our employees to work on, and this led to a lot of stronger adoption of digital learning that they went through. So so from the kind of the aspects of whether we want our employee to learn and be relevant for future or acquire from outside, so we took this position because we remain committed towards employees and their welfare going forward as well, and that's our way to contribute in their life going forward. So that's the decision we made.
The outcome of this program, as spoken to us by Welspun, was that it led to automation of about 500 plus dashboards. It created about 800 GB of data lake and replaced about 800 Excel sheets. This is phenomenal, and this was all done in-house by the employees.
And what we used to do, Pallavi, is that we used to give a monthly brief to our MD and CEO Dipali, and she was fully on board with everything that was happening on this learning initiative. And we also won Brandon Hall the award for having this co-created program on the digital area. And I think at overall what we intended is that typical the textile industries are in the visually, they look to be very lineage to that extent, but if we were to go the path of like Dipali keeps saying all the time, that are we the FMCGs of textile, and if that is the journey that we have to go through, it is a different class of organization that we need to build, and Industry 4.0 was intended to be one of them. And aligned backward was these kinds of initiatives that we started. And we also took this ahead with workers training. That was a separate thing though, but we trained about 300-400 workmen on the digital initiatives. So the intent is that across the organization we are able to build the digital literacy, which is far more which actually transform the organization for future. And from a transformed role, what do we look forward to? Apart from the least to say is a cost reduction and efficiency. What one looks at is whether we are giving consumer the value that they are paying us, And are we creating an environment where the innovation takes leap ahead, and we are able to therefore create value for both employees as well as our consumers. So we are looking at from this transformation of roles, these are the end objectives to be met.
So if I were to recap this, the top three challenges would be: first, look at what's the sort of a career trajectory or a succession layer that you're talking about before jumping into role transformation. Second, any learning and development team member who's looking at it needs to think of scale across the employee life cycle and not just within one business unit. And third, absolutely leadership attention with a clear focus on what are we trying to achieve in terms of goals and in terms of quantification.
It is the organization's ability to therefore impart what is right learning, which is which is in the interest of the organization going forward over next 2 to 3 years, and I think go behind with a very concentrated effort rather than probably spreading the regular content and regular training programs. I think we need to be skilling our people for a very competitive capabilities that we need to build, which then becomes an edge in remaining relevant in the business context. We need to go after those kinds of capabilities, and it's like giving injection for a cure. This also has to be very focused content which can impact the thought process of an individual. So that's my view.
Well, it's been wonderful hearing from both of you. Thanks for sharing your your journey, your insights, and your learnings with us. It was great having both of you on the panel today.